a sense of community when you're free. Rolling through the mountains, rolling through the valley, rolling through paradise with me.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Small Talk. Well, my guest is a friend of mine that lives in New Zealand. He's been on the show a number of times. He's a performer, and he's going to talk about his band. And I'm going to ask him some questions about what their plans are for this year, 2024. Time to welcome back Ryan Neville. Hi, Ryan.
Hey, I'm very well, thank you. It's good to see you again and catch up. And amazing how the whole Christmas period went so quickly.
Yeah.
And unbelievable. We're in 2024. Amazing.
It's unbelievable, isn't it? So now tell everybody the name of your band.
So Ryan Neville and the Midnight Blues Band, and we're based in New Zealand.
And so what are the band's plans for 2024?
So we're looking forward to this year, of course. We start a new tour. To be honest, I haven't even named it. That's our that's our new it's going to be. It hasn't even got a name yet, but our tour will be starting at Jazz Fest, which is in New Zealand, South Island, which we always look forward to. We start a year there, and it's basically a 3-day event. Great time to catch up with other bands and musos and friends and things. And we've been doing this for about the last 3 or 4 years, which has been lovely. And it's just it's a nice little wee township. And basically they have different bars and venues that are filled with stages and things, and people just wander around the whole weekend and stuff. So it's normally good weather and things. So that's our first one for the year. Then I go to the USA in April. And then, of course, we've got other festivals all through North Island and South Island, hoping to maybe get to Australia this year. That possibly is going to be later. But as I mentioned last time we spoke, we've got our 10th CD or 10th album, I should say. I'm so used to calling them CDs.
Yeah.
10th album is coming out this year as well, which we're very proud of. And we're slowly releasing singles now for that, and lots of music videos. So, yeah, it's going to be a busy year, probably even busier than last year. I was just telling a friend of mine this year that I wanted to kind of, step back a little and just kind of, reset a bit and so on, but it doesn't look as though that's going to happen. But that's the usual pattern of things. It's normally just, cram as much in as I can, because it's just something that we all enjoy as a band. So,
right. Yeah. So on your tour, your US tour, what states are you going to be going to?
So starting sort of mid-April, what I'm going to be doing is flying into San Francisco. That's where we start, so it's going to be a long flight. So I've got a couple of venues there, so I'll be there for about 2 days. Then out of there, Las Vegas. I'm very fortunate to have a venue there that always likes to have me back. Been doing that for a couple of years now, which is lovely. It's just a fun place, of course, which I enjoy. So I'll be playing there. So then from there, Memphis, Nashville, Kentucky, and then Texas is where I have my band. So I've got, a band that we just tour around Texas and different venues, Dallas, Fort Worth, Houston, places like that. So it's a small tour, but we're going to probably get in about 12 shows while I'm there. So I cram that in, as crazy as this sounds, in about 3 weeks. So it's all good. Yeah.
So how do you decide what cities you're going to go to?
Now that's a very good question. So it's really based around places that I have been, and then of course places I haven't. So my goal, of course, is to try and get to every state, and but it's that kind of work of where blues is popular. So It's really doing that. I know it sounds crazy because I start here and go to that coast and back and forwards and things like that. But most of the time I fly, as we drive. But the idea is that, just trying to find the places that really have liked my music over the years. So fortunately, as we know these days, we can get stats on who's listening to what and where. So I tend to go where the fans are and where people want me. So, that's how I choose them.
Very good. Yeah. Now, okay, so there is your new single is called Mad at Myself?
That's correct. Yes.
Now, what inspired that title, that song?
So Mad at Myself is one of those songs I like to kind of sometimes have a bit of a quirky kind of, not necessarily a negative or not necessarily a positive, sort of something, let's say, sitting on the fence. So the idea was to kind of, have an argument with somebody, I guess, or just not get on with somebody, and you're mad at yourself for not saying the right things, or maybe you're mad at yourself because you did say the right thing. So it's just kind of a made up idea of both sides of the coin.
Right. Yeah. So now, when you're in the process of writing a song, does everything come out like boom, or is it a slow process?
Yeah, now that is, I'm sure you've heard other people say it's sometimes, yes, it's lovely when it just happens on the day, I just get inspired by something. Yeah. And all of a sudden, bang, within 10 minutes, something is written. That's lovely, and it'd be lovely if that happened every day, but sadly it doesn't. And I tend to, I may have said this to you before, I tend to struggle writing lyrics, which is why I need you to write the lyrics to our song. So I tend to write the music for me always comes first, okay. And then, of course, I can either quite seriously sit for 3 weeks and still not have any lyrics down. So I can quite struggle. I sometimes struggle with the lyrics, but musically I can write something very quickly. But the ideas for me, I always laugh, and I've said this before, is that in the style of blues, we always laugh because we say you can only really write a song about your dog died, about a train, and about your partner left you. So it really kind of doesn't give you a wide range of ideas for a song. So I do struggle. But I tend to, again, not necessarily write about my own life experiences. I tend to kind of take ideas from movies or friends and people, and just the idea, just to kind of mix it up and make it a bit more interesting. Yeah.
Have you ever written songs for somebody else to perform?
Yes, now that's a good question. I really enjoy the writing process, and so I have 3 other artists that I pretty regularly do write for, which has been lovely. And funny enough, that's easier to write for someone else than it is for myself, and I think that's because they give me the strong idea of what they are wanting to express, and of course they give me a style. And yeah, so I do tend to do that. I've had a couple of bands in America request that I write for them, and they perform some of the songs. So yeah, I really enjoy that side of things too, because it's not so attached to me, I guess is the word.
Well, I was just kind of wondering, because like sometimes when we create something or do something that's moving on to somebody else, they get kind of possessive about it. And
very true.
If they change it or something, it's like, oh no, that's not what I meant. Like, do you ever have that kind of emotion?
Yeah, no, that is, again, another very good point. I must say, it took me a while to get out of that, because that's right. When it's like, it's art, isn't it? So you create the idea in mind, and then when all of a sudden someone says, hey, let's not make it a blues song, for example, or let's not paint a tree, let's do a house instead. To me, it totally takes away from the idea and that song or art. So, but I must say, I have learned to actually enjoy that now. It's like with my band, I will write the songs and I'll hand it to them. And what I really love, which almost is annoying to them, is I'll just say, record or perform the way what the song means to you. And they go, well, look, Brian, I want an idea. Give me something that I can work on. But instead, I really like to give it to them and see where they can take it. I know they're very, very talented at what they do, and they get me. So but I've always, with the last 10 years, I've been very much like that, enjoyed other people's input on things.
Oh, very good. Now what else I was going to ask you? Okay, so every song for yourself, I'm talking about, or for your band, whatever, is a different inspiration, like, obviously, right? Different emotion or a different event. Like, is that how it works in your head?
Yes. Now, I guess having written quite a few songs over the years, that's something that sometimes is hard to do. I do assess and double check that I'm not writing the same song over and over, because I've got to be honest, that's very easy to do. Yeah. To keep going. Oh, I really like that style. And then I've almost written the exact same song before and gone, oops. So yeah. sometimes a mixture of things. I like to look at things from the positive light, so I try and find balance it out so that I have some nice sort of romantic songs, let's call them, and then kind of have some more upbeat, positive, happy vibes to them. And then, of course, another really big one for me is finding songs that are going to be great to perform, because not every song I write is for the stage. It has to be something that grips the audience and they can tap their foot to, they can sing along to. It's got to be catchy. Right. So there is a little bit of a process, yes, of what I do. And if we're about to go out again on the road, I would like to, definitely they're going to be stage songs, so they're more likely to be a bit more upbeat. On every album, I'm still old school, where I still love the classic ballad amongst all the songs. For many years, that's how people constructed their songs. So I love that process. So yeah.
Oh, very good. Yeah. Okay. So now you're with your band. You have a gig all set up and whatever. Do you have any kind of rituals before you go on stage?
Yes, it's always important to me to kind of get into that zone and get into that focus, and to kind of, we travel a lot. So, and of course, you've got a lot going on in your head, and you're phoning home and talking to people, and there's a lot sort of happening, and trying to organize things, and nerves and all those sorts of things. So to me, it's very important to kind of bring everything down and get into that focus. So for years now, in fact, ever since we started the band, we do this hands in thing. So everyone puts their hand in, and we sit and we just relax for a couple of seconds. And of course, I sort of affirm these positive things of our purpose of being there, just to kind of bring everyone in and get that connection going, because it's so important on stage to not be thinking of other things and get distracted. So that's, to me, a really big, apart from the usual nerves of wandering around and shaking things off for a couple of minutes, literally 10 seconds before we walk on stage, we do the hands in. And, I just remind everyone of that purpose of being there, and, to be positive and to be happy and to enjoy it. We all love to play, but of course, as you can imagine, you do this so often. I want to make every night special. So I try to just remind everyone that's what we're there for. Shut out all the other things that have been happening during the day, and let's just walk on stage and have a great time. So that would be our ritual.
Okay. Now, obviously, you have a lineup of songs you're going to perform, right? Does it ever go wrong? Like, does somebody, say one of the performers start something that, oh no, that we weren't going to be doing that song now? Does that ever happen?
Great question. Sadly, and I have to be upfront, that's normally me. But so yes, I've normally just with excitement started something else. But that's why I'm very blessed to have a very amazing band, great connection, because they know that's bound to happen. They often joke amongst themselves and say, who knows what's going to happen, because Ryan will either forget or just want to be awkward. But I do enjoy that. I really must say I do enjoy that fly by the fly by your pants kind of thing, doing that process of like, all right, let's just hope people know what I'm doing. If someone calls out a song on the night, I'll just go into that. But what my favorite thing in the band, hate me for it, is that I'll get them to do a solo. So I'll turn around to a drummer, Nick, and say, ladies and gentlemen, Nick, and he gets put on the spot by me to perform. Now, the band don't know this, but it's my way of just that, that kind of testing. How well can you perform under pressure? And you know what? All of them nail it every single night. Very
good. So, okay, so now the band, you have a kind of a ritual when you're performing with the band. What about what you do when you're performing on your own?
Yes. Yeah, that's it. It's harder, I guess, performing on your own, because you don't have that vibe and that connection. And as you can, if you're feeling a wee bit nervous, there's always the other member who peps you up and things like that. So, you know what? I've never said this, but it's to be honest, I think of all my favorite artists, and I kind of look to the sky and kind of try and get that feel. I've got great, like, from Stevie Ray Vaughan, Gary Moore, and so I kind of think of them before I step on stage, of how confident they were, because that's the big thing for me, is getting that confidence to wander out there and show that you everyone a good show. So it is much harder to kind of get yourself in that zone. I tend to like to walk, so sometimes I'll set up all my gear and I'll just go for a wander around the block and just get a wee bit centered and breathe in the air and then walk out on stage.
Right. Yeah. Like I know when I've done anything on stage that time before you're anxious to perform, and that waiting period, even if it's just like 5 minutes waiting your turn, whatever, that's the hardest part that I always felt, like I just want to get on there and get on stage and get on with it. Right? Do you go through that?
Definitely. Absolutely. It is that feeling. It's a strange one, isn't it? Because you're saying to yourself, I'm nervous. So you kind of think you'd want to have more time, but you're right. You kind of push yourself to go, let's just do this. I must say is that fortunately now I've learned to control nerves and learned to understand that they're there for a purpose. So I actually feel the enjoyment of them. As crazy as it sounds, a friend of mine said to me the other day, I could never stand on stage. And I said, well, it's like anything, the more you do that. Yeah. But I think the important thing for anything on stage like that, or doing anything in front of somebody, is actually learning to enjoy it and to take those nerves and turn them into pleasure rather than using them as being sad and negative or worried and scared and all those sorts of things. So yes, certainly let's just get out there and do it. Yeah, right.
Now, certain performers, no matter what genre it is, they'll wear maybe their favorite socks or a pair of underwear or shirt, whatever. Do you do any of that?
Yes. Now that's a good one. Again, so that's thank you for asking that. It's something I've never mentioned. It's my wee thing is that on the back of every guitar I take out and perform is a Superman sticker on it. So that's my guiding light or my shield. And that protects me. That keeps me focused. That's something that is just a little thing. So I know that it's against me. So that's my little thing.
What about the other band members? Do you know if they have anything?
Yeah, a couple of us have scarves and things like that on our mic stands and things like that. I'm a big one for making sure everyone's comfortable before we go out and perform, because you're always going to get the best out of them if you're not panicked. So, we recheck and double check. So it's a good question. I must ask them if they mentally do something in themselves or they purposely have something somewhere and things like that, because, it's like anything, having tools, it's very important to have things that give you a positive feeling and you can trust them, because gear is very much a big thing when you're on a stage and people are paid to come and see you, and you don't want things to go wrong, and you don't want to panic and go, where did I pop that? So, but yes, I must ask them that question.
Have you ever been in the middle of a performance when the power went out?
Fortunately, no. Oh. But I have performed when it snowed, and it was an outside venue.
Oh, okay.
That wasn't fun because everyone else was able to run to their cars, but I'm looking around going, how am I going to pack down all this gear in the snow? So it's certainly at a sound check, we've had power go out and it's been quite a panic, but we've got such a great sound team and techs with us. I fully trust that they have this. So fortunately, and touch wood if I can find some, no, we haven't had the power go out, no.
Okay, very good. I don't remember if I ever asked you, do you like outdoor performances?
Yes. It's something I do really enjoy. We recently did one at a Roses festival. It was very, very nice. It was a bit windy, but yeah, that's a whole other feeling. It's a lovely feeling too, to be out in the sun and just to feel the breeze. And I do occasionally smaller festivals and fairs and things like that, and I really like those because they always have food stalls around. You can hear the birds, and that to me is a lovely vibe. Anything being outside for me is great, that whole nature. So inside has its place. I'm a creature of darkness, so it means I like to kind of live in a dark kind of stage, but absolutely it's quite special to perform outside for all those outside reasons and hearing noises and people. But it is, from a focus point of view, as you can imagine, it's a whole other world because there are noises. You're like, oh, what was that? And then you look down and think, oh, I forgot to play that next chord because I was focusing. So there's definitely a skill in performing outdoors in there, of course.
So what would be the largest crowd you ever performed in front of?
It would have been in Nashville. and we would have had about 5,000 people there.
Oh my goodness.
Yes. So that was quite a few years ago now, but that would have been the largest crowd. In the style that we play, it's blues and things like that. We hire, venues and things like that, which are smaller. This was an outdoor show. So yeah, that would probably be the largest show that I've ever performed to.
Wow. Yeah, that's a large.
Yeah. It's a funny thing, because again, people often say to me, is that harder to perform to a larger crowd? It's actually not, because I find it's harder to perform to 3 or 4 people staring at you, but a larger crowd is just a sea of faces, and of course the energy and the feeling that you get of those people is such an amazing buzz, which is great. So yeah, I would love to play in larger crowds, which would be great. So we tend to do that more so at festivals and things, but yeah.
I agree. Yeah, I agree. I think I told you I used to do improv, and yeah, the bigger the crowd, the more fun it is, as you said, because just that energy is so engaging, so exciting, makes everything so wonderful.
It is, and it's tricky at nights when you don't have that big crowd, or they're just enjoying the show rather than wanting to be a part of it. And a big part of every show we do, there's 3 to 4 songs that I always put in that I force the crowd. I mean, in fact, not necessarily force, I threaten the crowd that one of our band members is going to come down off the stage and force them to sing. So there's certain songs, and that's just such a magical feeling to bring the band down, quieten them down, and then let the crowd sing the song back to you. And that's a lovely feeling.
Nice. Well, yeah, that's great. I think we'll end it on that note. Okay.
Wonderful.
So
Thank you so much.
Yeah, you're welcome. So just want to remind the audience to listen to my friend from New Zealand, Ryan Neville. You can find him on YouTube and Facebook, and well, probably all of those.
Absolutely everything.
Everything, yeah. Thanks again for watching the show, everybody. Take care. Oh, and I hope you continue to watch the show. That's always nice. So tell your friends, buy a CD. Take care, everybody, and peace.
Very much.
Peace out.
A sense of community, Chilliwack's a place to be. A sense of community where you're free. Rolling through the mountains, rolling through the valley, rolling through paradise with me. It's multicultural, you're sure to see it all. Chilliwack's the place to be, you'll see. Come party in the park, go dancing after dark. Chilliwack's the place to be, you'll see.